welcome back to another episode of our Kings related podcast, wherever you may be. And this recap of the Sacramento Kings ending their 4-game losing streak with a tremendous game over the Memphis Grizzlies, 132-122, and they found a way to snap the losing streak against a Grizzlies team who came in top 10 in both offensive and defensive metrics in the NBA, and the Kings, they did this with their defense. In the first half, the Sacramento Kings, in that first half alone, the Kings had 9 steals, 4 blocks, 14 points off of 12 of the Memphis Grizzlies turnovers, and they had 15 fast break points in that first half. And they led going into the halftime 65-54 going into halftime. And this was, quite frankly, a Uno reverse card of how teams would play Sacramento. The Kings in this game played an Uno reverse card, being the team to score off opponents' turnovers. Recently, it's been the opposite of opponents scoring off the Kings' turnovers. Just fantastic job by the Kings tonight. They were active all game long in this game. In that first quarter, the Sacramento Kings forced 6 turnovers in the first. Devin Carter had 3 steals. Jake LaRavia had 2, and scoring 7 points off of those Grizzlies mistakes. And in that, first quarter, how the opponents, the last 3 games, for the Kings, their opponents were the Suns, who scored 36-22 in the first quarter. The game before that, the Warriors scored 30-18 in that first quarter, and then the New York Knicks 37-22 in that first quarter. But tonight, the Kings, just the opposite, 37-26 in that first quarter for the Kings. 57% shooting from the field, 40% from long range. They had 12 bench points in that first quarter, 11 assists on 13 made field goals. And overall tonight, the Kings bench outscored the Grizzlies bench, who is one of the best scoring benches in the NBA. Tonight, the Kings bench outscored Memphis 37-32 in this game. And just, again, much better tonight by the Sacramento Kings in the first quarter, putting up 37 points in that first quarter. Just phenomenal job in that first. So tonight, the Kings had 35 assists and just 13 turnovers. Just phenomenal job. The Sacramento Kings are now 20-9 this season when they record at least 28 assists in a game this season. Just phenomenal job taking care of the ball and sharing the basketball. Just fantastic. And now just a couple of quick highlights from some players. Um, let's get this one out of the way first. Domantas Sabonis, second game back, returning from injury, from his hamstring injury, and this was kind of a bumpy, wouldn't say bumpy ride for Sabonis tonight. Just bloodied and bruised. In the first half, he knocked he knocked into one of the Grizzlies players, got bloodied around the eye area, went back, got stitches, and Sabonis, who's trying to work his way back after missing the 6 games because of that hamstring injury, he got, as I mentioned, he got headbutted in the first half, and then in the second half, I believe it was like the opening moments of the third quarter, Sabonis rolled his right ankle. Did not return to the game because he wasn't allowed to, because he did. If you can't shoot your free throws, you're not allowed to return to the game. So Sabonis' night is over, and hopefully the ankle injury is not too serious, because if you know Sabonis, he's gonna want to tough it out in this playoff play-in race that the Kings are in. But I hope the Kings training staff protects Sabonis and gets him healthy if he has to miss any time with this ankle injury, because the Kings are hitting a rough stretch of games, and tonight is a good one to get against the Grizzlies, but it doesn't get easier on this 7-game homestand. So next, as I say, return of Malik Monk. And Malik, who has not looked like himself since returning from that toe injury that he suffered in that Dallas game against the Mavs when the Kings were in Dallas. But Monk, he shot an efficient 10 of 17 from the field, and even hit a couple of threes to finish with 28 points and 7 assists in this game. And Malik Monk, as he always does when he's on the floor, he brought that energy for this Kings team. Just phenomenal, nice job from Malik Monk in this game. And this is what we need from Monk for the rest of the season, as the Kings are in this play-in playoff race in the Western Conference. Zach LaVine, I thought Zach LaVine, after 6 shot attempts in that Golden State game, and then he had, I believe, 13, but most of those came in garbage minutes when the game was already decided. Zach LaVine today, I thought he was better at trying to get his shot, kind of, but he came out immediately in this game. Zach LaVine came out looking to score from the opening tip, and the Memphis Grizzlies had no answer for him. Zach LaVine, he drilled a 3 at the end of the first half with 16 points, and he kept it going as he scored 23 points in this game. He was 7-11 shooting, including 5 makes from Bjorn the Arc in this game. Keegan Murray, effective. Keegan Murray, he was active, he was aggressive. I love an aggressive Keegan Murray on both ends of the floor, offense and defense. He not only took his open looks on the floor, but he hunted for a few more, and he was 6 of 13 from the field, including a few long 3-point shots. So, and he finished with 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 steals in this game. Just a very effective night for Keegan Murray on both ends of the floor. DeMar DeRozan, I thought DeMar DeRozan had a quiet first half for the Kings in this game, but DeRozan just after posting just a single assist in the last game against the Suns, DeMar DeRozan looked to set up his teammates in this game against Memphis, and he finished the game 22 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and a block. He was one of many players on this team who had very active hands on the Kings team, and it was a quality all-around game that you would see from DeMar DeRozan in this game. And tonight was a Jake LaRavia revenge game against his former team, the Grizzlies. Jake LaRavia was absolutely phenomenal off the bench for the Kings, and it's fitting that he, as a menace that he was on the floor tonight, in his first game against his former team, LaRavia scored 12 points. He grabbed 2 rebounds. He also picked up 2 steals in this game, and he clearly had an inside scoop against his former team and the schemes that the Grizzlies run, and against his former teammates. So, great night for LaRavia off of that Kings bench. And when you have Domantas Sabonis go down, bloodied, bruised, leaving in the first half, then coming back, and then moments into that third quarter, tonight for the Sacramento Kings, this was a team win. Team, all capital. JV filled in for Sabonis, battled Zach Edey in this game. Keon Ellis hit his open threes. Maybe Monday, but Monday was a Trey day. Trey Lyles, he grabbed 9 rebounds in this game. Devin Carter, with his dad on the Grizzlies bench, Devin Carter posted a career best 4 steals in this game. Great contributions from everyone in this game for the Kings. This was what you would call an absolute team win for the Sacramento Kings against the Memphis Grizzlies. Kings are now back over 500, just one game at 34-33, and this was a much needed game for the Kings to get, because it does not get easier for the Kings coming up on Wednesday night. But just a few other stats to look at. If you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, the guy who really went off, Desmond Bane, in his 41 minutes of action, Desmond Bain, 44 points. He was perfect from beyond the 3-point line. 7 of 7 from 3. And then not much from anyone. The rookie from Folsom High School, Jalen Wells, who really went off in the last meeting between these two clubs. Jalen Wells in this game, just 14 points for Wells in this one. 4 of 11 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3. Jaren Jackson Jr., quiet night. Spent most of the game in foul trouble tonight, and 5 fouls for Triple J. Kings from the field tonight, 52% from the field. You want to look at a lone spot for the Kings tonight. 10 missed free throws for the Kings tonight, 66%. The Grizzlies were perfect from the free throw line. The Grizzlies did out-rebound the Kings by 12, 47 to 39 for the Memphis Grizzlies. Kings, 21 points off of the Grizzlies, 17 turnovers, so that is good for the Sacramento Kings. And this was a much needed win, as it does not get easier for the Kings as they are in that murderous row of games that will make or break their season. And coming up next, Wednesday, you got the Cleveland Cavaliers, whose 16-game winning streak was snapped yesterday by the Orlando Magic. The thing about the Cavs is, best team in the East. You can make the case that they're the best team in the NBA, but I think the Oklahoma City Thunder might have something to say about that. But the Kings will be catching the Cavs on a second night of a back-to-back, as the Cavs are in Los Angeles Tuesday to take on the Clippers. So if you want to look at that, but the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of the best teams in the NBA, best team in my opinion in the East, and they come at you in waves. You got Evan Mobley for the Cavs. Of course, you got Donovan Mitchell, but you got looking here at the roster, you got Max Strus, you got DeAndre Hunter. Great pickup by Cleveland to get Hunter at the deadline. You got Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Ty Jerome, been a really nice find for them. Off the bench, Sam Merrill for the Cavs. It's not going to be easy. I think the Kings do lose. I think the Kings lose that game on Wednesday. But if the way the Kings play tonight, that is who the Kings are. This is what we saw tonight from the Kings. That is more like Sacramento. Play like that on Wednesday, and you have a chance to win. Won't be easy against Cleveland, but you'll give you will give yourself a fighting chance. So Kings taking on Cleveland on Wednesday. Couple of scores, just a few scores here around the association. The Houston Rockets, who looked like they were going to lose at home against Philadelphia, they come back in overtime to beat Philadelphia in this, and it was Jalen Green, 30 points, 13 assists for the Rockets in this one. Just absolutely incredible. Dylan Brooks, 25 points for the Houston Rockets. Big win in overtime. That would have been a horrible loss if they didn't win that game. But they end up winning that game, and they're sitting there in second place in the West. So you had the Indiana Pacers in overtime beating the Minnesota Timberwolves. Good win for the Pacers. I believe that game was in Indianapolis, or I think it was in Minnesota. So big road game win for the Pacers tonight. And you got the Denver Nuggets. No Jamal Murray, no Jokic. They go into San Francisco and they beat the Golden State Warriors. Aaron Gordon, 38 points for the Nuggets. Just inspired basketball by the Nuggets. Nice bounce back win after losing in their last game against Washington. The Phoenix Suns, they take it to the Toronto Raptors, and they beat them handily in this one, 129 to 89. The Lakers, no LeBron James, no problem. They take care of the San Antonio, 125 to 109. The Portland Trailblazers, they beat the Wizards in Portland. So that's a team you need to watch out for if you're Sacramento, who don't count out Portland in that play-in mix in the Western Conference. They're playing some inspired, some good ball here as of late, and that's going to be a sneaky team next season, that Portland team. But final score here, a much-needed victory for the Sacramento Kings as they beat the Grizzlies by 10. They led as much as 21 in this game. They let the foot off the gas. They may have let the foot off the gas a little, but they survive against the Grizzlies. They won the season series 2-1, and the Kings are back over 500 at 34-33, and they are back in action Wednesday for Game 2 of this 7-game homestand against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we'll be back for another post-game recap following Kings and Cavs. So thanks for tuning in to this post-game recap on our Kings-related YouTube channel. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below in the YouTube comments. And if you're listening on your preferred audio platform, Apple, Spotify, please hit that follow button. Rate 5 stars. Leave a nice little review. Be much appreciated. I'm also available wherever else you get your podcast. Kings win. Back in the win column. And we'll be back Wednesday following Kings and Cavs. Go Kings and light the beam.